rare diseases may affect all or some of the human organ system, and around 5% of them affect the skeletal system. Although they are individually rare, they collectively affect a large number of people. The estimated number of patients in the world with rare bone diseases is around 25 million, and this number is around 2 million just in the EU countries. One of these rare diseases is called mucopolysaccharidosis, or MPS. And Christoph, who published his story on the website of Austrian MPS Society, was born with it. As he wrote, from his childhood he has problem with his hip and he couldn't make a fist with his hand. However, the doctors have told his mom that this is the way he is and he has to live with it. It wasn't until he got 30 years old that he was diagnosed with MPS type 1. At which point the doctors told him that he has to start enzyme replacement therapy immediately if he wants to get to an advanced stage. Christoph could be diagnosed much earlier. In general, rare disease patients may have to visit up to 10 clinicians, get 2 to 3 misdiagnoses, and wait on average 5 to 7 years to get the diagnosis. A very unpleasant journey for themselves and their families. We want to change that. Our team has a diverse background and expertise, we have founding experience, and we are a member of the European Reference Network for Rare Diseases. We have already developed AIs for the diagnosis of other rare diseases based on facial and retinal images, and for Bone2Gene we benefit from the advisorship of the head of Kinder Radiology Unit and also the head of Human Genetic Department of Unique Bone. For the diagnosis of rare diseases, there are multiple inputs that clinicians take into account. And 2 of the main inputs for solving these puzzles are looking at X-ray images and also assessing the bone age, which is the measure of growth of the children. However, there are more than 400 possible disease-causing genes, and the clinicians and experts learn only a limited number of them. And on top of that, experts cannot be everywhere. However, artificial intelligence can learn any number of the features of any number of diseases, and also it can go everywhere. Our Bone2Gene AI will have 2 main features. One of them will be the bone age AI, which we have already developed and is finished. And the second one is a gene classifier AI that is under development. There are already some solutions in the market for bone age assessment. And on a standard public dataset, our AI performs better than the rest. In addition, our AI performs very well for assessing the age of dysmorphic bones, a task that Bone Expert, one of the currently most used solutions, fails to do. And most importantly, none of the current solutions do disease gene diagnosis, which is the main value proposition of Bone2Gene. We so far have the support of colleagues from 8 different hospitals across Germany, and in fact from 4 of these centers we have received currently around 1,000 X-rays from 7 different bone diseases. And we're working with the rest to obtain their data, and we're also working on expanding this network. They will be the first users of our product. The estimated total rare disease diagnostic market was around $28 billion in 2019. Taking that, we can estimate a TAM of $1.4 billion for rare bone disease diagnostic market. We aim to make Bone2Gene an AI that supports all rare diseases, all rare bone diseases, and also all different ethnicities. It will be a web-based application accessible to every clinician with a computer connected to the internet. The clinician will upload an X-ray and will get the result after a few seconds. Another child with MPS will not have to wait 30 years like Christoph to get a diagnosis. In the next coming months, we will first deploy our current bone age AI as a web app, and also after collecting at least 10,000 X-rays, we will deploy the first bone disease diagnostic AI. To achieve that, we would need funding, mainly to hire staff and primarily data curators, and we also would need advice on the business development and marketing strategy approach of this project. I thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to questions.
Gene classifier AI, what does that do exactly?
So the main object, The cause of more than 80% of all rare-born diseases is genetic. And getting an accurate diagnosis means identifying the gene that is causing that disease. And
maybe I'll reformat my question. I couldn't quite understand how the gene classifier AI comes together with bone age AI, in which the clinician uploads some pictures, some x-rays to the internet and gets a diagnosis. How does that all come together?
so the imaging information would help in with the interpretation of the sequencing and genetic information. So just based on the DNA sequencing data, it would be difficult to pinpoint the gene responsible for the disease. And phenotyping information would help for the interpretation and pinpointing the most probable or the accurate disease-causing gene. I hope I answered the question. Okay.
I probably missed it, but how much do you think will the regulatory approval cost? Did you calculate that in your business plan?
I haven't calculated in the business plan, no.
Just because the competition, they have, I think, class 1 and 2A. So which category do you fall into with your wallet?
We think we can achieve the similar CE mark, CE1, but it's the things that we have to do in next stages.
Okay.
Maybe again, who's your team?
The team, well, there's myself, Peter Kravitz, the head of the Institute for Genomic Statistics and Mathematics, and Sebastian Rassmann, student and software developer who is an expert in Python programming. This is the current development team. We don't have a business team now. We will need a business team as well.